The Pokemon universe is filled with vast stories, and today I'm going to tell Pokemon Gold and Silvers. Let's dive on in. What's going on, guys? My name is Max from Crash Test Studios, your one-stop shop for everything nerdy. Today we're going to be going over the Pokemon Gold and Silver Gold and Silver parts of the Pokemon Compendium series. This is episode 2. Please, if you want to know what is going on, go check out episode 1. I explain everything at the beginning of that video, as well as diving into the Kanto region. So, for those of you who don't want to go check out that video, fair enough. It's not fair enough. But the main focus of this series is going through all 8 regions of the Pokemon universe. So, we've already dived into Kanto, so let's dive on into Johto. Alright, so there are 5, technically 5 games in the Johto region. But there are 3 main games. So if you're new to Pokemon, how they split it up is they've got 2 games are released at the same time. So let's take Red and Blue from the Kanto region. So they were released Red and Blue. One has different Pokemon than the other. They're generally the same story unless you buy Sun or Moon, where it takes place at different times of the day. But, yeah, so that's basically how the releases work. So that's why I say there are technically 5 games released, but there are really only 3. So, let's go ahead and dive in with Gold and Silver. Similar to the previous games, the protagonist receives his starter: Totodile, Cyndaquil, or Chikorita. They go on their adventure through the Johto region, encountering their rival, Silver, who has stolen his first Pokemon. Until eventually they make their way to the Elite Four, battling through the Elite Four trainers, one after the other, eventually making their way to the champion, Lance. After defeating Lance, however, unlike most games in the Pokemon franchise, the protagonist has the chance to travel through the Kanto region, facing off against the Kanto gym leaders, eventually making their way up Mount Silver, or Moon, I cannot remember which, and facing against Red. So that's Gold and Silver. Now, I've played through about half of Gold. I've gotten to the Elite Four, and then I restarted because I got bored. But, yeah, so these games, they are, I would call them Generation 1 DLC. There's not really a lot to them. They don't have their own defined region. It's still in the Game Boy 8-bit era, so you really can't distinguish between Red and Blue and Gold and Silver well. So that's why I call them DLC, you know? They're not quite full games in my opinion. But still, that doesn't mean that they're not good, and I understand that these are some people's first games, and they love these games, but I feel like they're not a full, complete Pokemon experience like we have nowadays. But let's go on to Pokemon Crystal. So, Pokemon Crystal is largely the same to Gold and Silver. It is that mid-generation upgraded game. If you take Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Platinum, Black 2, White 2, I'm just going to name all of them. Black 2, White 2. There's one more I'm forgetting it. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Or if you want the Isle of Armor's, the Isle of Armor for, what is it called? I forgot the name. The Galar region. This is what Pokemon Silver is. Now, there are some differences, like the box art legendary is actually a part of a legendary trio. The beasts, Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. Crystal version is based off of Suicune. So, I'm not the biggest fan of Suicune, to be honest. I'd much prefer either Entei or Raikou. But, still, I haven't played this version of the game. I think you can get Celebi in it, though. Editor Max, put that on screen if you can. Cool. Thanks. So anyway, let's move on to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These games are largely similar to the original games Gold and Silver, just with some more upgraded tweaks. Think of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, or Pokemon more recently Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Or Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I'm going to bring it up in every single one of these videos you watch. You watch. I will. But these games are the upgraded versions of the old games. So, if it were me, I would go for these games to play over Gold and Silver unless you want a nostalgia trip, because they're so upgraded, they look nice, and they're not in that weird, kind of gross 8-bit graphic. I know I just offended a lot of people, but I don't care. I do not like the 8-bit graphics of the old games. So, in my opinion, Ruby and Sapphire is when the graphics started to get good, and now they've kind of hit a point where it's like, okay, yeah, where are we going now? Though Legends Arceus looks great. So yeah, I've rambled. So now let's go on to the Pokemon timeline. Alright, so the Pokemon timeline. If you weren't here for the last video, the Pokemon timeline is a timeline I am constructing of all the different Pokemon games. Now, some things I forgot to mention in the last episode, but the Pokemon timeline is going to be different for every single save file that you make of Pokemon. So let's take a very famous Pokemon event, Twitch Plays Pokemon. That is canonically, if we're taking it as canon, it is canonically in a different timeline than my save file of Pokemon Red, or my brother Zane's save file of Pokemon Red, or your save file of Pokemon Red. And that goes for any Pokemon game released, because the protagonist will use a different starter Pokemon. The rival will have a different starter Pokemon generally. You'll have a different team. You'll go about things differently. And it's just a very easy way of thinking about it. But we can take these general rules into consideration, like the Pokemon timeline. So, let's place Johto on the Pokemon timeline. I'm going to shrink down a little bit. So, the timeline goes as follows. Kanto is the starting point. Kanto starts right up. You can see where Kanto starts. But Johto, I would say, happens about 2 to 3 years later in the same timeline. No branching off yet. If you've watched The Flash, you know how that can get very confusing if you've watched any time movie ever. But, yeah, so Johto, I would say, happens about 2 to 3 years later, because of the Elite Four in the Kanto region. Red is not the champion in these games. So anyway, that's it for the timeline. So yeah. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified of these videos. I'm uploading these videos, or just videos in general, every 2 weeks. I figure that gives me enough time to come up with a script, film it, and edit it, because I am actually a very busy person in real life. So, this gives me enough time to make the videos for you guys to watch. So, yeah, if you guys want to stay updated on my videos and on the happenings here at Crash Test Studios, please hit subscribe. Now, I do want to make a little PSA. The next video that I'm going to do is not the next video in this timeline. It is actually going to be how Voldemort is actually a serial killer. I'm taking a forensics class, which I'm really enjoying, and I decided that, hey, I'm doing a project on Voldemort. Why not take this project and make it into a script? So, anyway, that's going to be the next video. My comment question that I want you guys to answer in the comments is, what was your first Pokemon game? What was the Pokemon game that you played first? And then, what was the Pokemon game that got you hooked on the franchise? Now, I say that because I understand that some people's first games may be their favorite games and what got them hooked, and some people's first games may not be their favorite games, and it took another game to get them hooked. For me personally, my first game was Pokemon Moon, and it's an okay game. I don't really have high opinions of the Alola region, but the game that got me hooked was Pokemon Omega Ruby. I remember playing that so many times, and I am sad that I sold it back to GameStop, and now I've got to go buy another one. But anyway, guys, this has been Max from Crash Test Studios, your one-stop shop for everything nerdy. I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.